6 months. What's a typical day?
Living like a doctor.
You liked it.
Bro, you got to remember, I went to prison for 4 years. I got sentenced, but guess what I became? I became a stand-up comic. I learned how to do stand-up comedy
in prison.
On Thursday nights, they used to have movie night.
I didn't even know that.
Dog, they used to have movie night on Thursday night. So the projector would always fuck up, like Ustream. It would always fuck up.
Joey, talking to the microphone.
It would always fuck up. So on Thursdays, the people just jokingly, I would always go, what the fuck is wrong with the projector? And everybody would say, Cuba, get up there and talk. So I would go up there on Thursday nights. It was, you know, 200 people, and like 100 of them were black. So they go, Cuba, go up there and talk. And I would make fun of the black guys.
Like, what would you say?
You know, we'd make fun of the kitchen. You know, like the fucking kitchen.
This is the beginnings of your stand-up career.
What'd you say?
You know, we used to make fun of, I used to be
That's how the movie starts.
I fucking, the first day in prison, they made me a baker. You know, you don't tell people what you want. It's like Cuba. Like, yeah, on the outside, I was a mechanic. Really? Well, in here, you're a baker. You know what I'm saying? Here's a book, learn how to make bagels. And I made these cinnamon rolls, dog, that almost blew up the kitchen, right? These motherfuckers were big. So that afternoon, they fired me as a baker. And they made me a fucking dishwasher and a stockroom clerk, right? So I was a dishwasher and a stockroom clerk. And whenever they had shitty meals, the guys I knew, when they were going through the line, I would yell, don't do it. So I would go, don't do it.
How often were the meals bad?
3 times a week. But it didn't matter because at lunchtime, I was allowed to go to the store for 15 minutes. I worked it out where I had to drive to take garbage out, so I would go to the store for 15 minutes. Not only that, I would call in my order at the Chinese restaurant, so it would be ready by the time I got there. So I would go back to the prison with Chinese food and groceries. That's how strong I was in there. Plus, dog, I didn't fuck around in there. Plus, they were doing steroids and selling drugs.
In prison?
Please, like a motherfucker. So I was in the stockroom clerk, so they had to pay me rent. So because they never inspected the stockroom.
You stocked the
I would
roids.
say to you, yeah, I'll hold your roids, but you got to give me
my
you gotta give me $3. You know what I'm saying? $3. It's all about dollars.
You got to give me some cigarettes.
So I had roids, cigarettes, I had pills in there. They weren't mine. They just belonged to other people, but you put them under pallets. So I would give them a key whenever they needed to go take shit out of it.
So you were the connection.
I was the holder. Plus,
how did they get the steroids in? Somebody had to put it up their ass?
Yeah, whatever. I don't know. They got a bag. I don't know. I never asked.
Could you imagine shooting a steroid into your body?
How do they smuggle it in again?
Up their ass.
Then they put it where?
They're contact visits.
Right.
What you do is you take your fucking kid and you fill his pockets with the yum-yums, and while you're making out with your husband, you say, you want to see the kid? You pass the kid to the husband, and he takes the drugs out, then he gives you back the ugly kid.
Man, that makes me so
That's how Henry Hill did it. That's how they do it. Same shit. Bro, there's more drugs on the inside than there was on the outside. And to boot, this was a minimum security camp. We had contact visits. When you have a contact visit, there's parties every night. You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers. That's the first time I did it. No, I was like the second time I did heroin was in prison. And I couldn't do a needle. So the Mexicans took a Mexican thing of heroin, melted it. I had to put like a funnel in my nose made out of paper, and they dripped it in my nose. And I got up, I had like candle wick burning out of my nose. What the fuck is this? They're like, that's heroin, man. Be cool. I was like this for like a day. And then the white dudes, the bikers, would give me speed. And they would play basketball all fucking night on speed, the bikers. They'd be out there for Hell's Angels, fouling each other and shit. And I'd be out there with them huffing and every week was a new adventure. I did every drug and that shit. I'm allowed to vote now. I haven't had a felony in 15 years.
You can vote now?
I can vote now, but I don't want to vote.
That's what happens? It's a 15-year break off?
10 years. But I don't want to vote because what were my choices last year? Palin, the old guy, and Obama. All 3 of them were bad choices.
Okay.
They weren't intelligent. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So part of me is in, the other part of me isn't.
Okay. What was what happened with didn't you have someone hostage? Can you talk about that?
Yeah,
Can you talk about
in
what
1987, I was 27 years old, whatever. I was working in Boulder. I was going to school at night, and I was snorting coke with 3 hands. You know? And I fucking got involved with some kid, and he was going to rob his roommate, and ended up robbing them, both of them. And then the guy that I had as a partner was going to rob me. What a tangle web we weave when we tangle to deceive. And it just so happens that the guy got caught. Like I told the guy I didn't want nothing to do with it, even though I had the coke with me. I sent the coke to Aspen, but the other guy, the guy that tried to rob me, he ended up getting pulled over with the guy we kidnapped in the trunk of his car, all fucking bandled up and shit. So I got arrested for the kidnapping too and everything. But you know what? I fucked up. You know, when I kidnapped that guy, I kidnapped him. I did that. I got 4 years. I got off fucking easy. They should have thrown me in there for 10 fucking years. But people don't really
How
see
much
them.
time did you actually do?
18 months, 16 months.
That's a long time.
But it cost me 2 years of my life. You don't know what your life, how precious.
Was it horrible?
No, it wasn't horrible. I could do it standing on my head. But the only people
that's gangster talk. I could do that time standing on my head.
Listen, when you do time, bro, and you do time, guys like you don't. It's just another day in paradise. They're gonna take us to a place where we get the bullshit about jiu-jitsu instead of 2 hours a day, 8 hours a day. You follow me, and you eat and whatever. Your freedom gets lost, which sucks. But it's the people at home. It's not you or whatever. I can do whatever the fuck. Bro, my genes are from Cuba, motherfucker.
Tell me about.
I smoked the weed Castro smoked before he went to the mountains to take over. You understand me? I gotta tell Joe while we're on this subject because it's very interesting. I used to always tell you about UPS. People used to always tell me how they used to ship on UPS, and I take them aside and go, "Don't ship nothing on UPS," because my buddies ran the Paramus one, and all the UPSs they have a little gate where they have Rolexes and diamonds because they ship all the world's diamonds on UPS. A lot of people don't know that, and they have a gate. So when that bell goes off, that means the security gate opens, and they would have these conveyor belts, and these guys have to sort shit out.
Yep.
Well, my gangster buddies would take shit and throw it under the conveyor belt, and it would get stuck and rip open. Duh.
Oh, dude, I ripped shit off. I ripped off shit from the.
My buddies used to show up with Rolex Presidentials, bitches, and they were selling for $10K cash, selling 3 a week, making $8.50 an hour at UPS, selling 3 Presidentials.
Well, how did they not know there was so many getting stolen?
Because they're insurance anyway.
This is a long
got
time
lost.
before surveillance cameras and all that
Oh,
shit.
yeah. Easy.
Cameras would rip open because the boxes would rip. They would just wouldn't take the box and throw it on the floor.
Now they have tracking numbers and shit. They know where it stopped.
They would take the box and throw it in the conveyor belt, so the belt would break it. The box open. And then they would say, the watch got damaged. It's in pieces. Go get it. The watch was in their fucking pocket with the warranty and everything. So a $20,000 watch, they would sell 3 a week, these kids. Each of them were yanking 90 grand a week out of that. Plus diamonds, plus anything else that came out of fucking UPS. So my first car was a fucking 73 Monte Carlo, black on black leather, 500 down, 200 a month. I got it from the bank. I drove the car for 2 months like a pimp. I had the electric package with the windows. I had the roof. And one day in the middle of the winter, I went over to the city to get some weed. And I went and we were smoking, so I put the sunroof up. And all of a sudden, the sunroof went back, and the windows started going up and down, like the electrical system was sizzled. I told my buddy, fuck it, put your thing, we're out of here. I swear to God, it was in a blizzard. I went back there 3 days later, the car had a foot of snow on it. And all the windows, one window was shut, the rest of the window had come in. Like a day later, the sun came out. I went back 2 days later with a tow truck. There was nothing. Nothing. It was the back. It looked like a fucking chicken the day after Thanksgiving. It was just bone. They took everything, Joe. The seats, the upholstery, the fucking black around it. It was just the tires, the whatever, the axles. They took everything. They left the body on bricks. That was it. I never heard from the bank. I never paid it off. It never came back in my. It never came back in my credit thing.
It just vanished.
It just poof, poof. I never paid for it. I went years later to get credit. Like, is there a check bank of fucking America with nothing?
What?
Poof, nothing.
How's that possible?
Don't fucking ask me. I left the car there with $5 for whatever. Yeah, it's his $5. In those days, like all you had to do was go by George Washington Bridge, and under the bridge, you left your car there with the keys in it, with a half a tank of gas, and leave like a nickel bag. Your car, you go back there the next day, there would be nothing there. Nothing. Vanish. You could get fucking Barney Fife on it, they wouldn't find your car. In New York, they would demolish your car like that.
Yeah,
bro.
people, there's some little shops in New York, little body
like
shops.
This. In Canarsie up in Brooklyn.
They're like rat dens.
You're done.
Yeah,
listen, you could find like a broken down street, a broken down car, drive it into one of these places, they'll give you 100 cash and 20 for gas. And you'll never see that car again, dog. I did see my friend Mike Ascalise one time get an eel out of the Hudson, slit it open and eat his fucking heart.
What?
When I was a kid, a guy at the bar I hung out with, he tried to kill himself. His name was Johnny Reed. He jumped off like a building. He landed in a construction dumpster and lived.
Oh my God!
And his head still, and he was just retarded. One day I showed him my dick. When I was like 18, I put it on the chair next to him, and I tapped him on the shoulder. He goes, "Wow!" And that was the end of that. He never talked to me again, Johnny Reed. I can never imagine trying to commit suicide and fucking up, and you got to be around your friends and shit.
You want to see this guy?
No, I don't want to see that fucking Momo. She jumps off a building and lives. He should be shot and fucking hung. They should arrest you for felony stupid. But think about it, Joe Rogan. If I call you at 2 a.m, you're sitting here, you're a little stoned.
I should look that
You're
up.
watching a movie, and I call you up and say, Joe, I don't want to live no more. I'm going to come up by your house. I want to kill myself. You would say, really? Come on up. I'll help you.
No,
We'll
you
tie a
wouldn't.
fucking noose. I'll push you in front of traffic.
There's
Something. I did comedy with one for a year and a half in Seattle. Rita O.
With a
Was a
transsexual?
transsexual. She looked like that fucking thing, like Doom. She had a head, and she put a wig on, and we send her like, we go, Rita, you want a drink? And she would give her like a 20. She'd go to the bar, and we'd rob her purse. She got Valiums in there.
That's rude.
Little pills. Then she'd come back, and we'd eat her pizza. And she'd have a woman's voice, but when she yelled at us, she'd go back to her man's voice, put it down. It was fucking amazing. And you know, she died. She hit her head. She went out dancing one night. The head was big, the equilibrium. That's a true story.
Really?
Her equilibrium, her head, they left the head still really fucking big, like a man-sized head.
Oh my
It
God!
was
How
too
do you
big for the body.
trim the head?
And she fell off a stage
What?
and
Really?
banged the head. and
Because her head was too big, because
Oh,
her body
her head-
shrank like a
yeah,
woman's.
her body shrank up. So the head was too big.
So she was just a big bobblehead?
That's why she was taking all those pills. She was taking like Percodan.
Because her head was too big for her
it
body.
was- and she'd fall all the time.
Could you
Oh,
imagine
wow.
if your head was on like a little woman's body?
Forget about it.
Forget about
That's
it.
what I'm saying. It'd be a fucking nightmare. That's why I don't want to lose that
No
much
longer
more weight.
remember
I was
this.
getting headaches for a couple of days there. You know what I'm saying?
Your fucking body can't support your
You
head.
can't. You can't do it.
Ugh.
These people lose a bunch of weight, and all of a sudden they got this fucking ginormous head.
That's so true.
And you're looking at them, and they don't understand. That fucking head is huge. And Jenny Craig don't got nothing for your fucking head. Nobody got nothing for your head. Ain't nobody got nothing for that fucking man.
Exactly.
Fucking
What
head.
happens-
Dog's pregnant, comes out with a fucking iPhone, cocksucker. You dirty bastard. And you have to call fucking America's Most Wanted, you filthy fuck. If I'm drunk or coked up, I feel like an idiot.
Yeah.
If I'm stoned, I feel bad for the other person. Fuck you. If it's 2 PM and you ain't high, go fuck yourself. Get out of my face. I want you around me like I want cancer in my ball sack. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna come around here looking at me with your fucking wide eyes, thinking that I'm gonna reform. Go fuck yourself. My morning starts at 5:30 a.m. Either you're there or you're square. You know what I'm saying?
Team.
I remember going to some Cuban people's houses. Lourdes Nunez, nice Cuban people. Lourdes Ramos, nice, decent. You walk in, cross up there, and the mother was fucking banging.
Really?
I was like in the 6th grade, the mother was banging. And as we were leaving, I turned to Lourdes Ramos' mother. I go, hey, you should get dressed up. Maybe you should go out and get a little fucking pop. Dog, the next day, Lourdes came in. She goes, you're not allowed on my fucking block. Nobody has ever talked to my mom like that, not even her husband. Her husband died, and I told her, Mom, you looking fucking good. I was like in the 6th grade. I was.
So you just didn't know you weren't allowed to say something?
No, my mom.
So for you, it was just being complimentary.
Yeah. As I was growing up, my mom used to always say compliment women.
Right.
Let them know how beautiful they look. Like I remember one time.
What did she say to you though? How did she react?
The
when you hit
mother?
her? Yeah.
She was frozen.
So 6th grade is what? How old is that? 13,
12,
12?
11. We were over there to go, like we were going to go to a play. We all went over there.
Right.
And I'm looking at the mom the whole time. Like, this Cuban bitch is banging. I didn't even have hair on my cock. I just had the dick without the skin, without the hair. But you're already getting hard-ons.
How do you remember whether or not
Because
you
you're waking up with that hard dick. I didn't get hair. I don't even have hair on my legs. I'm one of those people. So I didn't get
That's a
hair
weird
I was
thing.
like 15. I'm half gorilla, but I didn't have hair until I was
That's
15.
weird that you don't have much hair.
Nothing,
Like people
nothing.
would think you maybe you shave your arms. but
Nothing.
You don't. You just don't have
nothing.
hair.
Like-
I didn't have hair on my dick. I didn't take a shower with boys till I was like 15. I'd be the one in the corner with a towel on. I had no hair.
Wow.
No hair. So I had no hair, but I get so horned out. And I told her this once. I said, you're banging, bitch. You should get dressed up and get some dick.